Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and Netflix and Amazon have now been barred from Toronto's International Film Festival because they are a streaming-specific platform, and because for some reason Toronto has decided to get real elitist all of a sudden, right? Real elitist, them, con. I'm sure even Venice was going to try it at some point, but these festivals are getting super elitist, and we're going to talk about that. Before we talk about that, do me a solid, guys. Like the video, click that button, hit subscribe, click on that bell, support via Patreon, all that jazz. You know why? Because if you interact with the channel, it shoots it up in the algorithm. YouTube likes it when people interact with things. If you want to help things out, which right now, trust me when I say this, it'd be kind of bad. YouTube is messing around with a lot of things. Do that, helps out. Anyway, Netflix, Amazon, all these guys, all they do is find themselves in a situation where they are slowly starting to take over Hollywood, right? It's not even like, I don't even want to say slowly as much anymore. They are legitimately moving to take everything over. Now, you might like this, you may not like this, but if you look at the general trend of where things are and how aggressive, at least Netflix is, in regards to how it has been kind of just slowly steamrolling Hollywood by taking away top talent and giving them lucrative cash upfront deals in order to produce content that in many cases may not even be as high quality or high caliber as we would come to expect from these people. None of that even really matters. It's name brand recognition. And so if you look at where things are right now, them getting barred from the Toronto International Film Festival ultimately means nothing up front. It means very little up front. But it's still a prestige thing. And that's what Netflix and Amazon don't have, is prestige. It's one of the reasons why, oh my God, Toronto just totally screwed itself. All right, so Exhibitor Cineplex says that only TFF titles that respect the traditional theatrical model may play on Scotiabank theater screens. The traditional theatrical model. Let me ask you a question. Does anyone really go see movies in the theater outside of big tentpole spectacle films? I mean, I'm being like legitimate here. I am like legitimately talking about this. Does anyone actually do it? The answer is there's not many. Right? You look at all the numbers say Hollywood is having an exceptional year right now. Everything is up and doing great, doing fantastic. It's awesome. And then you look at it and you're like, yeah, but like movies that like you think would make money aren't making money, and movies you think would really make money are making most of the cash. People just aren't going. They're just not going as much. And anyway, it says here there's a survival thriller at the Toronto International Film Festival playing out off screen this week at Scotiabank Theaters, the traditional press and industry screening venue. Cineplex, the Canadian exhibition giant that runs Scotiabank, told TIFF this year that Amazon and Netflix titles that program for short run in movie theaters or none at all have been barred from its multiplex on Richmond Street that hosts the industry and film critic guests. So it's like, it's not so much, sorry. It looks like it's not so much that Toronto International Film Festival banned it, but like the theater, the theater did it. The exhibitor did it. Now that's a little bit different, right? That's a little bit different here. So it's not like TIFF is being a dick. So let me amend my previous statement, because again, the headline really kind of throws you off. The headline really throws you off on this, and that's what we've seen people talking about this. But Khan did do that. If you do not showcase your movie in what is it called, a traditional French theater, then you may not participate in our film festival. That's my horrible French accent. You deal with it. Anyway, but still, you can kind of see what's happening here. Anyway, they say here, there are hundreds of fantastic films screening as part of this year's festival. With all those options, we asked our screen feature titles from studios who understand and appreciate the importance of the theatrical release model. Cineplex spokesperson Sarah Van Lang told the Hollywood Reporter. So you're being an elitist snob. So you're being right now, Sarah. I mean, maybe not you specifically, but like Cineplex itself is like, they're being super elitist, right? No one likes that anymore. You know, no one likes you to sit there and act like Mr. Monopoly when it comes to, yes, the traditional theatrical experience, Barbara. Yeah, it's stupid. It's so stupid. Now it says we have a strong and long partnership with TIFF and are proud of our role in creating memorable theatrical experiences for festival goers for now and for years to come. Yeah, you're holding on. You're holding on thinking this is going to make you some kind of elitist thing. It's going to make you niche. It's going to make you unique, right? I hate to break it to you, Snowflake. You ain't that unique. Your whole situation is that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of movie theaters. All right, like you don't realize what you're up against. And it's not even that it's a huge, terrible thing that you're up against. It's like people make movies. They want to go to these festivals to help raise awareness of them. And you're like, if you're not going to be doing the traditional theatrical release model, we want nothing to do with you. Okay, fine. Do you understand what that means? Do you get what that means? They don't get what that means. They don't get it. They don't understand it. I mean, I understand movie theaters right now are like really, really holding on because they're afraid of non-tentpole films, because non-tentpole films ain't making no damn money. And that is true. But what we're dealing with here is a situation where you're not going to have a choice. Netflix is cheap. People have it. Disney Plus is going to be cheaper. People are going to get it. Apple TV is going to be super cheap. People are going to get it. Content is going to be made for that. Television shows, movies, etc. And those movies are going to be wanting a wide release, at least, predominantly before going on there. And theaters, I understand they want to like make sure that, they make their money too. I get that. But you're better to work with these companies than to not, because these companies ain't going anywhere and they're going to eventually find a way to screw you. And it's not going to be, and it might be out of sheer, vengeance. You screw me over to Cineplex, I come after you, right? Says Reed Hastings in a terrible samurai accent. But no, anyway, these people, they don't get it. They don't get it. Now, Cineplex CEO Ellis Jacob is also a chairman of the National Association of Theater Owners, right? And yeah, that whole thing there. And the trade organization that represents movie theater operators who are facing a competitive threat. See, notice there, it's a competitive threat from streaming giants and their home viewing often. Now, Jacob has been a critic of Netflix, Amazon, and other streaming players that allow token short runs in cinemas for their award season hopefuls before quickly shifting them to digital platforms, saying, as the biggest exhibitor, our preference is always to have movies play on the big screen. Here's the thing, man. People love movies on the big screen. Netflix love movies on the big screen. That ain't going away. Netflix realizes that in order to compete with Disney, they are going to have to find a way to get a lot more broad-based appeal for this kind of stuff, which means they're going to want to take these movies into Cineplexes worldwide. And I've talked about this. I've mentioned this before, and if you follow my content daily, you know I've talked about this. When it comes to what Netflix and Amazon specifically potentially could do, we're talking about a massive Hollywood takeover, like massive pieces of the pie. I made the call a couple weeks ago that Netflix is going to eventually buy Paramount Studios. I think Viacom CBS, merging CBS under one brand, and keeping that instead of being a vertical to Paramount, being under the same umbrella, they might come in and say, screw it, we want to buy out Netflix. Or Netflix comes in and says, we want to buy out Paramount from Viacom CBS. Viacom wants to get into, again, streaming and television, because that's where their predominant base, their predominant entertainment is based. Paramount Pictures is fledgling as hell right now. So why would Netflix buy it? One, they'd get it for pennies on the dollar. Two, it has contacts to literally every single country in the world that takes Western films. And then they can tailor content to go into those marketplaces, into theaters, and then use it to sell their services in those areas that they are currently trying to expand into, like India. It's the same damn concept. They're just going to use a studio that they own to put movies out that have contracts with these theaters, with these theater chains, and they can do it. That's what they're going to do. Amazon, the current rumor is they're going to buy Sony. They're going to buy Sony Pictures. That's the current rumor. And you know what? Sony needs the damn money. The PlayStation division and like a handful of other divisions at Sony make money. Sony Pictures does not. Spider-Man Far From Home and Venom doing as well as they did were because they were touched by the Marvel bug. All right. Not because Sony did a good job, but because they were touched by the Marvel bug and the potential possibility of Venom being in the MCU. But when it comes to a lot of other crap Sony's got coming down the pipeline, a lot of people simply do not care. And that's why it's going to be sold off. You'll see more and more people talking about it. That's the current rumor. And if Amazon buys Sony, again, like I just said about Netflix and Paramount, it's all about the connections. It's literally about the connections. And that is what they're going to do. And so anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. I want to know what you think is going to happen. Let me know down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions on this one. If you made it this far, type Netflix into the chat so I know. Slap on a like while you're at it if you haven't already done it. You should by now, because I trust you and I believe in you and I have faith in you to help prop this channel up when YouTube is conducting all sorts of craziness. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. and peace out.